Alright, so whenever a new Apple product comes out, I can't help but think of Ronnie Chang's bit where he says that it's like a competition to see how many screens we can get in front of our faces.
It's like iPhone, iPad, laptop, TV, and then Apple Watch. Okay? As many.
So now that the new iPad mini is out, is this one worthy of shoving into that list? Hi, my name is DI. I am a software engineer by day and YouTuber by night, and on this channel we talk about tech news and reviews. And in this video, we're going to be looking at the new form factor of the iPad mini, the screen, the cameras, iPadOS, and finally answer whether it's worth picking up this device. Alright, so let's start off with the form factor. It's got an 8.3-inch screen and it weighs about 2/3 of a pound. And I really like being on the couch with it because it's bigger than your phone so you can see it more, but it's not as clumsy as having your laptop there either. It's light to hold and there's not too much fuss to it. So what do you get with that perfect size? Let's talk about the screen. Now the screen is good, not great for one reason, and that's because this guy does not have 120 Hz display. Now the 120 Hz display came out on the iPad Pro first a few years ago, and we have an iPad Pro, and it is buttery smooth, especially because the screen is so big. You really notice how much beneficial it is to have that 120 Hz display. So coming from an iPad that has a 120 Hz display to this that has just a 60 Hz, it feels very slow. And I don't know if a 120 Hz display makes sense on an iPhone, but on the bigger screen, it's really helpful. And once you've experienced it, it's really hard to go back to the 60 Hz. Also, if you're finding this video helpful, I'd really appreciate if you gave me a like. Okay, so let's move on to the cameras because I think the cameras on the iPad mini are really funny. The back one I think is way too good for what it needs to be because I don't think anyone takes pictures on their iPad. They all do it from their cell phones. And the front one has a new ultra-wide camera and it is really ultra wide. It's comically ultra wide. And with that new ultra wide feature, it lets you do the center stage mode, which I think could be a very useful tool if you are live streaming a lot or you're on FaceTime a lot. But Apple devices are only as good as the software, so how good is the software in the iPadOS? Well, the iPad being a product that's halfway between the iPhone and a Mac, iPadOS also reflects that. So at the bottom, you have a much larger dock than you do on an iPhone, which reminds you more of the Mac, and it's got some cool convenient features that let you do split screen and let you write notes very quickly. But the drawback of iPadOS is the fact that it's not super intuitive and I had to go researching how to use it. Once I learned how to use it, it worked simple enough, but I don't think I've ever had to research how to use my iPhone or how to use my computer. As a tech person, I don't mind going out of my way to research how to use the iPadOS to maximize its full potential, but I can't see anyone like my mom looking up how to do things on iPadOS. And there are some things that I think would be kind of confusing for someone like my mom. For example, there is a gesture that you can use that does two separate things. So for example, if you want to do split screen, you can drag an app from the dock onto the side of the screen and then you would have split screen. But at the same time, if you want to remove an app from the dock, you also drag it up. So now it's the same gesture that does two different things depending on the context. I could see that being confusing for a lot of people. So is the iPad mini worth your money in picking it up? My answer is no, and let me tell you why. I only need two devices in my life. It's my computer and my phone. My computer, I do all of my work on it, like software engineering and video editing. Those things you cannot do on an iPad. And I need my phone for all the reasons everyone has a phone. And so I don't see where the iPad mini fits into my lifestyle besides more media consumption. Now there is one group of people that I think iPad mini is perfectly suited for, and that is students. If you wanted to be on the go all the time, and because campuses also have Wi-Fi around, you would be able to bring this to any class, take notes easily, have it synced to iCloud, and that would be a very convenient use case. But at the same time, if you are a student, you're probably also going to have a laptop in your room. So at the end of the day, this is a very auxiliary device. Nobody needs this. This is just a fancy, shiny toy. And if you have the money to spend on this extra toy, yeah, I think it's great for a lot of reasons. But I don't want to pick up devices just for the device's sake. I want to pick up devices that I actually have to use in my life. And so for that reason, I'm not going to be picking this one up. So those are my thoughts on the new iPad mini. I think it's really sleek in some ways, but just not necessary. Please let me know down in the comments whether you already have an iPad, whether you're considering upgrading to a newer iPad. I respond to all my comments and I really love hearing from you. Okay, that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in the next one.